Hello again, and welcome back to the Book Dragon's Lair. As always, my name is Ronnie, and I'm the caretaker of the lair. Today, I wanted to dive a little bit deeper into the different archetypes for the classes in Dungeons & Dragons. So you have three main archetypes: your marshals, your casters, and your half-casters. Today, we're going to focus on the martial archetype because if we're going to be honest, the marshals don't get enough love as it is, so let's let them have their shine first. So, starting off the martial archetypes, the fighter, the granddaddy of all. You probably are the most familiar with this class and you don't even know it. So the fighters do exactly what the class name says. They fight, and they do it well and often. For your fighter, they're able to attack up to 4 times on a turn, and they're able to use all of that dedicated training to possibly use what is called an action surge, depending on your level. That allows you to do a whole another round of action on your turn. Now, it takes time and study to get to that point, but it makes them the best battlefield commanders out there, which, since that's their claim to fame, makes sense. In that, though, just because you're great at hitting things doesn't mean that you're not able to dabble, like I said earlier, with subclasses into other abilities. So if you want to do a little bit of casting, you can be an Eldritch Knight or a Rune Knight, which allows you to use giant rune magic. There's several other classes too. In fact, I think the fighter has the second most subclasses. So if there's a different style that you want to do or ability, you can take a look and dig into it because it is a very flavorful class and not nearly as boring as most people say. Second on our list, the Barbarian. They love to rage. In fact, that is their main core ability, raging. This allows them to use that anger to half all the damage that's coming against them. So that makes them perfect for being a battlefield tank. Now, with this, they hit and they hit hard, but it comes at a cost while raging because if they get advantage, then they have disadvantage against them on their next turn. The Barbarian is great, and if you're new and wanted to start as a martial character, for me, the flavor and the simplicity of the Barbarian is my go-to recommendation. The Totem Barbarian is traditionally the favorite of the subclasses because they have the most resistances, but they have a lot of other very good subclasses for the Barbarian, and it's worth taking a look. Next on our list, the Monk. The Monk gets the shortest stick out of everyone here, and they are your battlefield skirmisher. So for your monks, they're in, they're out. They have a lot of hits, but it's not quite to the heavy damage of your Barbarian or your fighter. But what they do make up with that, they use their ki, or what they lack in that, they make up for with their ki. And that allows them to do certain abilities like Stunning Strike and double their speed and lots of other things that is full of flavor and utility as well. Lots of monks. I don't think there's really a bad monk subclass depending on your party needs and makeup. I love the monk class. Like I said, it doesn't get the love that it should. I'm actually playing a monk. Well, I'm going to be playing a monk here soon, and the campaign I'm running. So we can't talk about that yet, but maybe if we hit 1,000, we could make that character together. And lastly of the marshals is the Rogue. They are your party infiltrator and scout in a lot of cases. They are going to check for traps, unlock boxes, sneak into places to get you in and to find out information. In a lot of cases, they are your party face, which means they're charismatic, but their biggest claim to fame is sneak attack. This means that their careful study when they're looking for traps and everything else also can be used on an opponent for that perfectly timed hit to give maximum damage on an attack, hence your sneak attack. The enemy doesn't see it coming, and that attack does a doozy to the enemy. So with that, the Rogue is also very flavorful and can kind of dabble into each one of the other classes' abilities a bit. So much like the Bard, if you need somebody that's kind of your utility person, the Rogue is a great go-to for that. Some examples in media of each one of these. For your fighter, you're looking at Boromir or Gimli from Lord of the Rings. For your barbarian, there's Conan the Barbarian, or even the Hulk from the MCU or Marvel franchises. For your monk, look no further than Avatar the Airbender, the last Airbender with Aang. And for your rogues, Fitz from the Farseer trilogy, Jimmy the Hand from the Rift War cycle, or any of your thieves and rogues from Media. These are all great examples of the martial subtypes. So, with that being said, which is your favorite of all the martials? Which one would you be more inclined to play if you haven't, or on your next campaign? Let's chat about it down below. And as always, stay nerdy.